Stay classy!
Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the second woman to serve on the Supreme Court, died on Friday, September 8th, at the age of 87. Known for being a strong and pioneering advocate for women's rights, Ginsburg spent much of her legal career fighting sex-based discrimination and advocating for the rights of the LGBTQ+ community, undocumented immigrants, and people with disabilities. As a remote student from her home in Washington, D.C., live reporter Charlotte Rediker decided to pay respects to Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, also known by her nickname RBG. On Thursday, September 24th, Rediker traveled to the steps of the Supreme Court, where Ginsburg was brought to lay in repose. At the site, gatherers brought flowers, posters, rocks, and other items to leave behind in her honor. Here's Rediker in Washington, D.C. with the story.
Hi, I am Charlotte Rediker, and I am a new upper this year. Right now I'm headed down to the Supreme Court, where RBG is laying in state, and people are gathered to mourn. Right now I am heading up to the Washington Monument, which is just right on the left here. The flags are all at half-mast right now, actually, which is pretty uncommon, and I'm just on my way there. So just got a parking spot, and it's a bit far away because the area is really crowded today. I'm assuming there are quite a few people there. I'm about to put my mask on and head out. Okay, so I just got closer, still not that close though, and a line has already started forming to go and mourn. It's way back here and goes all the way up there. So there's the line I was talking about, and it's very long. Each of those little groups of people is like a different part of the snake of the line. Okay, so I'm just coming up on the front of the Supreme Court now. We tried going around a couple other ways, but most of the ways towards the Supreme Court are blocked off right now to avoid people getting too close who aren't waiting in the line. So I can look at the court from behind these bars, and there are quite a few people gathered here, and then a bunch of journalists up closer to the court as well. So right here is the Senate, which is where they'll be making decisions on whether or not they will confirm another Supreme Court justice before the election. Over there is the House, which doesn't really have a say in the matter, and together this is the Capitol. It's a huge honor to be here for such a historic moment. I can see Justice Ginsburg's coffin laying right up there, and then mourners are gathered down below as well.
Rediker was able to interview other visitors at the site, as well as some Andover students, about their thoughts on RBG's passing and legacy.
She's like a pioneer, essentially, and I've just like read her biographies, and she's just a very powerful woman overall, and what she fought for is something that I stand with, and I'm glad that so many people are agreeing to carrying on her legacy.
I think she's a hero to all of us who believe and fight for equality for women and for all people in our society. And for me personally, I think she was a role model of what you can achieve as a working mom. And in my job, I take care of women, and I see women who are not treated equally by society or by kind of other structures. And I think seeing her work was just incredibly impactful to try to make society better for all of us.
I don't know how to express what all that she meant to me. You know, coming as an immigrant from Colombia, a country that isn't as progressive as here, unfortunately, when it comes to like the views that women should hold in power, we don't have as many progressive views as here. So when I first came here as a little girl and I saw Ruth Bader, I first started hearing about Ruth Bader Ginsburg in office, I was really astonished because, you know, in Colombia, I didn't really see that much of female empowerment and female leadership at such a high level. And especially it's something that interested me because my grandpa's a lawyer and he always talked about me and all those legal terms. But I found out whenever I went to his office, it was a very male-dominated setting. So when I first came to the United States and I saw that there was such a respectable woman in a position that very much interested me, I felt really, really empowered, and she meant a lot to me as a young girl and even now after her passing.
I would say that, you know, RBG's death like impacted so many people, just like me as well. And was like, I mean, she was an icon in like American history, and she was like such a proud advocate for female rights and just, protecting reproductive rights and everything.
I wanted to bring my girls so they could feel, how important this was.
As soon as I started to learn more about feminism specifically, I realized how big of a role Ruth Bader Ginsburg was playing. Especially a lot of the things that she had done came into jeopardy in the years that I've been here. So her work on abortion rights, her work on women's rights, as those things slowly became endangered, I realized how much she had done.
My connection is indirect. I have daughters your age, and they're super excited about her, and she changed for them how they look at the world, and that changed for me how I connected to things.
As citizens celebrate Ginsburg's life and legacy, many have wondered who will take her seat on the Supreme Court. Donald Trump has nominated Amy Coney Barrett to take this seat. I interviewed some people with me at the Supreme Court, as well as some people at Andover, to get their take on the matter and to see how they think it will impact the political sphere.
We don't really know what the lasting effects of this are going to be.
Well, obviously on a practical level, it means that there's a seat open on the Supreme Court that looks like it's probably going to be filled, and those are lifetime appointments. I have a lot of worry about a number of different rulings and the potential that they could be overturned, Roe v. Wade being one of the ones that weighs prominently on me, but I think it's probably going to have a long-term impact on the outcome of the Supreme Court.
With Trump nominating Justice Barrett, it almost seems like we're going back in time. And that's I feel like it's kind of a scary time because it's almost like the democracy that we always thought it would be is not exactly happening.
Because as much as we might want to, it's ultimately in the hands of senators and representatives.
Through her close connection with other justices, especially the late Justice Antonin Scalia, Justice Ginsburg demonstrated that it is possible to form close friendships with those who hold opposing views. In this time of deep political and social division, there is a lot that we can learn from her life and her accomplishments. Justice Ginsburg helped tear down barriers for millions in access to healthcare, education, employment, and beyond. She was incredibly influential, and her life and legacy will not be forgotten. Charlotte Rediker reporting.